We're following breaking news right now at the University of Wisconsin-Madison and at the University of Minnesota, Twin Cities. In Madison, pro-Palestinian protesters clashed with police on campus this morning. At least a dozen people were arrested as police took away tents. Some of the people arrested are faculty members. At the U of M, a quiet morning as some protesters are meeting with the university's interim president. But on both coasts, campus protests against the war in Gaza escalated overnight. Our team coverage begins with Michael George in New York.
Violent clashes erupted overnight on UCLA's campus between pro-Palestinian protesters who had set up an encampment and counter-demonstrators who launched what looked like some kind of fireworks into the tents. They also attempted to knock down the barriers in front of the camp.
There was a lot of fights going on too, like people started hitting each other with sticks.
There did not appear to be a law enforcement presence on the campus for hours, but eventually police did arrive. Heated confrontations also escalated overnight at Columbia University as New York City police officers moved in. Some climbed through a window to get protesters out of an academic building they'd been occupying. The officers entered at the request of the university.
We knew these children were being exploited and they were in danger.
New York City's mayor blamed outside agitators for the rise in tension.
It was clear we had to take appropriate actions. When our intelligence division identified those who were professionals, well-trained, one of them was married to someone that was arrested for terrorism.
Police also began clearing the tent encampment that has been the symbol of the protests on Columbia's campus for nearly 2 weeks. And it's not just the coasts. Police responded Wednesday to pro-Palestinian protests from Tulane University in New Orleans to the University of Wisconsin. The demonstrations have sparked more than 1,000 arrests nationwide since they started. Michael George, CBS News, New York.
The NYPD said they made hundreds of arrests overnight in connection with the protests. Police will remain on campus until at least the middle of the month to prevent another encampment. Columbia University said students who had been occupying the building now face expulsion. Right now, a dozen buildings on the U of M campus remain closed as a campus encampment enters its third day. Interim U of M President Jeff Ettinger met privately with student groups this morning to lay out their list of demands from the university itself. WCCO's Adam Duxter is live from Northrop Plaza with the very latest. Adam, what can you tell us about that meeting?
Yeah, Shayla, well, what we know is that meeting was supposed to start at 10 and was scheduled to be a half-hour long. But now as we hit noon, we know that meeting is still going, now approaching its third hour. And students here in this encampment say they see that as a positive sign. They say their hope is that what's happening in this meeting right now is a conversation between both parties. And these encampment protesters say last night during the wind and the rain they were given orders from police to disperse once more, but say that was something they were not ready to do at this time, but maintain, unlike other campus protests where there have been clashes between police and protesters, they are remaining peaceful here. But they will meet again once today where they will lay out their demands for the university's interim president, which include everything from amnesty for students who were arrested last week at this encampment to the university cutting ties with groups like Honeywell and General Dynamics, which have a presence here on campus. But again, those 12 buildings on this campus still closed, and that is something that has a lot of students' attention with finals starting tomorrow. Still, these students say they're ready to stay as long as it takes.
The students are strong, and we're going to fight back. We're the future of this country, and we want it to be as good as it can be for us and for future generations after us.
In a letter to university leadership yesterday, more than 24 rabbis from the Twin Cities expressed concern over these protests, saying Jewish students see what's happening and fear the climate could escalate in ways that are dangerous. Other Jewish groups on campus say they've been intimidated and scared as these protests continue, but Shayla, still no word from that meeting. Again, now more than 2 hours long between these students and the interim president. We'll continue to keep our viewers posted about the the outcome of that meeting coming up tonight on WCCO News at 4, 5, and 6 o'clock.
All right, our Adam Dexter reporting. Thank you so much, Adam. Of course, we'll share more on this breaking news happening on campuses around the country at WCCO.com and on our later newscasts.